Welcome, everybody. I'm Lily.
And I'm Matt.
And this is...
That's Cool.
Where we can't stop, won't stop talking about stuff.
All right. Cool. Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed our last episode on pirates. I thought it was exciting, or I learned a lot of new, amazing facts. You
can't stop, won't stop talking about pirates.
It was in the article. Arg. So, I actually talking about football to bring it back to the Buccaneers, right? They were on the Spanish Main that we had talked about, but they lost today, and the Detroit Lions won. So,
and now Matt has tears in his eyes.
No, Tom Brady's not on the team anymore, so I'm happy because in my fantasy football league, I had Jared Goff on the Detroit Lions.
You have a fantasy football league?
I do. I manage it. Yeah, I don't get paid much, but I'm kidding. I don't get paid at all. But it's fun.
Yeah, that's why it's fantasy.
It is. But I enjoy it. So, anywho, getting back into our content, I think we left off last time talking about famous pirates, and what's really cool is, what we're going to segue into now is about famous pirates, but it's about women, or a few in particular. And I think we might have mentioned this last time that, the not most popular, but the strongest pirate, or the one with the most power and had the biggest amount of influence and amount of soldiers working for her was a woman. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. So anything else on the agenda, Lily? What did you do today? Today's a Sunday. And, you went to a birthday party today in Connecticut,
I did,
right?
Yeah.
So,
you know what I did too? You know those mini water bottles?
Yeah, I have one sitting over here that was just leaking all over the rug. Thank you. I stepped on it. With my socks. I was wondering what that was. It must have been a water bottle with chili chewing on it. Or
I don't know.
You just messed
So
with it.
I wanted to freeze it, right? So I froze it. But then I wanted water, and we had none in the fridge, and we had none. So that was the only one. So I put it in the microwave.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's why there's a hole in it. And
there's
my socks. So if you're thirsty, you can wring these out. You can have a
Your
little
socks not
drink.
even wet. I just felt it. But I must have pressed 3 or 4 instead of 1 minute.
3 or 4 minutes with a plastic bottle? Oh my God! Don't drink out of that. It's no good for you. The plastic.
I couldn't open it.
Yeah. I wonder what. Well,
look, it's right behind you.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna blow up. So we're gonna get over there and throw it under something before it explodes. But anyway, let's get back into it.
I'll go do that.
All right. So let's get back into it. They're actually and we're talking about these pirates, the famous pirates. That actually some of the most famous pirates out there were actually women. Men definitely, they dominated the world of piracy back then, but there have been several notorious women, including France's Jean de Cleason. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any of these. England's Mary Read, Ireland's Grace O'Malley, and Anne Bonny.
O'Malley's like a pretty piratey name.
Yeah, and it sounds Irish. And O'Malley. And America's first female pirate was Rachel Wall, who eventually was arrested for robbery at the age of 29. So very interesting stuff, how many people were pirates. And again, we went back to why they were pirates. Kind of like you in the park today. So we went down to our local...
What's that local...
farm. What did we go down to? The local farmer's market. And
it's like down the street. Like if you live in Providence, like on the east side, you'll probably know. It's like... I forget what's that park's called? Something with an L. I
don't remember the name.
Oh, I know, because I was talking about this in school. Libet Park.
All right, there you go. I was putting you on the spot.
It's right on Hope Street.
Yep.
Has a big blue slide. I used to call it the Big Blue Slide Bar.
Bear on the Big Blue Slide. So we were talking earlier about, pirates, and some of the pirates were respected members of the community, right? So I think they would bring, they've been lawmakers, but they would bring home money, right, to their communities, and some of them were looked upon like, Captain Kidd. He helped churches and other community, areas that he in society that he helped out with.
Who's Captain Kidd?
Captain Kidd was a famous pirate Captain William Kidd, or simply Captain Kidd, was a Scottish privateer. And privateer is basically a pirate that, a lot of them, like I said, they get funded by governments, sanctioned by governments to go out and work for them privately, like a private contractor. And basically, there's some conflicting accounts of his life. But he says he was born in Dundee and later settled in New York City, believe it or not. And Kidd became a highly successful privateer commissioned by the English. So, he was another famous pirate. And I think the other one that was really interesting that we were looking at was the woman. Oh. So, remember we were talking about Madame Ching Shai, which, again, I apologize if we're pronouncing that correctly, but she commanded more than 300 ships.
Well, we probably have people out there who can read that or say that. We
probably can, and they'll correct us. Hopefully they get, leave a comment at our website or on our social media. But she commanded more than, between 20,000 and 40,000 men. She's thought to have been the most powerful pirates in history. Originally co-leading with her husband, Madame Jing took over what was known as the Red Flag Fleet when he died. And according to historians, in 1810, the Chinese government promised amnesty and pardon to all Chinese pirates. So definitely amazing that, folks are portrayed as males in pirateering and pirating, but, some of the most powerful or the most powerful was a woman. So that's some interesting information there.
I thought the most powerful was Blackbeard because it's, the blackie of the beardy.
Well, I don't know if he was the most famous, or you said the most powerful, but he could have been one of the most famous.
Yeah, I thought it was the most powerful because he's the most famous,
Well, the name ring, rolls off the tongue, like on a parrot.
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard. Do you know that he shot one of his own men one time just to make a point? He was notoriously vicious, and I told you what he did to, scare people, lighting his beard on fire. But he shot one of his lieutenants so he wouldn't forget who he was. That's, kind of scary stuff back then. It was... on the high seas.
Did they walk the plank?
I read that it's not true. It's not a true account that they would usually... What they did more than anything would be to tie people up and drag them behind the ship, which is... or underwater, which is very disturbing. And, the pirate life was not for everybody. But a lot of people made a living out of it. Do you know there's still pirates today, right?
Yeah, like Halloween costumes.
No. There's real pirates, and they're all over the... So today, a lot of it is in Indonesia, Somalia, Nigeria. The pirates actually... they don't dress up, per se, like the pirates that you're thinking, but they attack ships, and they hold people hostage for money. So it is pretty rampant in some of these areas.
Do they have TVs?
Does who have TVs?
The pirates, do they actually dress like the pirates? Because if they have TVs and watch it on TV, I want to be a pirate just to dress up.
I guess they could, but I think we should stick with the Halloween garb because I don't know that we want to be out on the high seas. And like you said, Mom won't go out there anyway because she can't even go out on a river boat because she gets sick. So.
Well, we did go kayaking, but she had to take a lot of Motrin.
Not Motrin, but she took...
Or whatever.
Yeah, she took Dramamine. But
same thing. It's the same thing.
Hey, did you know what is true though? They would maroon people on islands. So if they did something wrong to prove a point,
can I tell you something?
Do you know what maroon on an island is? Yes, you can tell me. Then we'll move on to that. But marooning on an island.
I know what marooning on.
What they leave them on an island?
But can I tell you a fun fact?
Sure.
It happens to not be about pirates.
Well, that's okay.
But it's about marooning.
Maroon 5, like the band?
No, it's just about the word maroon.
All right, tell me about maroon.
Taylor Swift has a song named Maroon in her album Midnights.
Stop it.
I think it's the second track.
Oh, boy. Well, does she have any songs named Julius Caesar?
No.
So Julius Caesar, do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Or was?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Latin and Greek and Italian and Rome and blah.
Well, you're on the right track. So he was the emperor of Rome. But
I know, I'm learning about that in Latin.
That's awesome. Well, and
not him in particular, but Rome.
Yeah. Well, it was very, very interesting because he survived a lot of dicey situations. So, in fact, when he was 25 years old, he was taken prisoner by pirates and held captive for 38 days. So you don't think about Rome and pirates, but there were pirates again back then, and he was held. And the pirates demanded ransom from Caesar for Caesar's release. And when they told him they had set his ransom at the sum of 20 talents, he laughed at them for not knowing who it was, and they captured and suggested that 50 talents would be more appropriate amount. Do you know what talents are?
Money.
Apparently, talents are money or a form of currency. We'll have to look that one up because that is a term. So let's see. In Greek language, the word comes from talaton, a large monetary measurement equal to 6,000 drachmas or denarii, the Greek and Roman silver coins. Wow. See, you learned something new. We're going down the path of pirates, and we learn about something in Rome. And it ties right into what you're learning in school, Lil.
Yeah, it does. Because we're learning about, like, Rome and other things.
And there was, so pirates did have, you were telling me about some of the things that pirates had, right? We talked about what they wore.
Hooks and peg legs. Wooden
Well,
peg
those
legs.
can't be real, right? They didn't really have those, did they?
Yeah, they did. National Geographic found that out. So
they actually had peg legs and hooks?
Yeah. But you had to, like, pay a lot of money, and some people would just, like, tough it through and just use it without a peg leg.
Well, I bet you it was kind of like a statement, like to be scary. Like, look at my. If somebody walked up to me in the dark and they had a hook, I would run. So I bet you it's it's to intimidate people with a hook. So, that's kind of scary. But it's funny that
actually it's not to intimidate anyone. It's just because they lost those limbs in battle.
Right, but then to put something there afterwards. They don't have to, right? But or maybe it's to be functional.
No,
so you can hold on to stuff.
Yeah, it's to be functional, and not a lot of people got it because you had to be, like, rich to get it.
Well, that's true too.
Not a lot of people got it, and some people would just have to tough it through, limping or, like, can't really climb to the crow's nest or anything.
Hey, you were talking about one of the. You say Black Bart before, but I think the other one that I was looking at was pretty cool. Was Black Sam Bellamy, and I guess
they really like the word black and bees,
right? And he was known as the Robin Hood of the Sea. Do you know what Robin Hood did? Like the story of Robin Hood and what his
No, but I know what
was?
Robin Hood. I know what a Robin Hood in archery is, because I do archery in school.
That's true. You do archery in school.
You want to know what a Robin Hood is?
I would love to know what a Robin Hood is.
So you hit an arrow.
Yeah.
Then you split the arrow.
If you split the arrow that's already on the target, they split it down the middle?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what a Robin Hood is.
That takes a little bit of precision just to get that. So that's pretty wild. But no, Robin Hood, the story of Robin Hood was that he stole from the rich and he gave to the poor. So anyway, Black Sam Bellamy was a pirate that he was considered or known as the Robin Hood of the Sea, or he considered himself that. He became the wealthiest pirate in history.
Is Robin Hood like before Black Sam Bellamy? Bellamy? You don't know?
I think that the pirates were, or Black Sam Bellamy was first, but we'll have to look that one up, Lil.
But no, it can't be if he called himself the Robin Hood of the Sea. So
this is true. You just you figured out. That's a logical thinking, Lily. So you problem solve.
I'm full of logic.
Yeah, you're full of a lot of things. Hot air, I say. So anyway, that was Black Sam Bellamy. Actually, you want to hear something really cool, Lil? Which you wouldn't think about this, that they were so organized. But I think we talked about this earlier, that pirates had a code of conduct, right? So, they would basically have rules, right? It wasn't just chaos like you think about. But each sailor or pirate, they would have voting, they would vote, and their injuries, if they get hurt during battle, will be compensated by
compensated.
That means they'd be paid for their lost community money that they had for the ship, and they actually had some of the pirates had retirement funds, like a 401k, and they're getting ready for retirement.
I don't know what a 401k is.
Well, you'll learn about that, and again, we're back to math, which is it's good because it's good. It's money you need to learn about. But anywho, so I don't think many pirates made it to retirement age. So I think that fund was kind of not really true. Or maybe the funds weren't really there. So anything else, Lily, before we wrap up and tell us about pirates?
I don't think so.
Oh, the other cool fact is that you were telling me about was that pirates didn't really bury their treasure. and I thought they did bury their treasure. But I guess apparently, because they know that they don't live that long in their pirate life, burying the treasure didn't make much sense unless they were getting attacked. I think that's when they would bury the treasure to hide it from their enemies. All right, Lil, so I think that's all we have for the pirates. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that episode. And, we are in October.
This is our episode, hearties.
Hearties, arg! We are in October, I said, and Lily is dressed up. She's not going to be a pirate for Halloween. I think she has another costume in
I'm being
mind.
a scary clown. I'm actually wearing my clown wig. That's why I'm wearing a rainbow wig right now, Matt.
I wasn't going to ask, but it was kind of scaring me. Not the pirate hat, but the clown wig. I saw that coming down the hallway, and I heard Chili barking, and I was pretty scared. You didn't even have a hook or anything, just clowns. Clowns can be scarier than pirates to me. I don't know about you.
I'm not scared of clowns.
You're not scared of clowns?
I know some people who's scared of clowns, though.
Yeah, they kind of can be freaky, and especially when they don't talk. That's when they really get, to me, I look at them and they're just staring. Maybe because I watch a lot of horror movies, and that's one movie where, the clown is pretty scary.
Can I watch it?
No, I don't think you can watch Pennywise. That's a little bit too much for you. Maybe in a few years. You're only 11 now, and you just turned 11. So we'll be trying to layer in some Halloween episodes over the next couple of weeks.
You have a layer?
Yeah, layer it in, like a layer cake. You know how you did the cake the other day? Lily baked a cake the other day all by herself, and it was a layer cake because it had different layers.
Layer?
Yes. You know what a layer is? You layer something on, one on top of the other on top of the other. Layer. Not layer like Lair, like you're like a dragon's lair. Or is it Laire?
No, that's a layer, not a lair. Layer.
Layer. Are you making fun of my accent, are you? You're going to have to walk the plank, even though there's no plank.
It's layer.
Layer. Is that that's my Roman version. That's my Roman speak. As Caesar would say, layer. Ow. Ow, that hurts.
I'm like moving his mouth around.
No, you're poking me in the face, which is hurting. All right, that's it. Now
Why? I have no nails.
Now this pirate's going to be stranded and marooned at one of the islands. So we live in Rhode Island, so that's a good opportunity for me to take you somewhere, and we'll leave you for a bit and see if you can manage on one of the little islands in Rhode Island.
Can you leave me on Block Island?
Well, considering that you've been to Block Island, you know your way around. That would be a good first stop for you. I haven't been to Block Island. I've been to Martha's Vineyard.
I've only been to Block Island, but I don't really know my way around. Did you hear about the fire in Block Island?
I did not hear about the fire in Block Island, but that's...
Yeah, you want to know what happened?
Sure.
So there was this like old historic place, like this hotel, and so there's like this new fire chief, and there's not really like a fire department really in Block Island. So they got in touch with like a part of Connecticut, the Rhode Island, and like in case there was a big fire in Block Island, this new fire chief, and there was a big fire at this hotel starting in the restaurant, and then and it just so happens that there was these firefighters that were on vacation who knew how to get everybody out safely, and they had to get the surrounding buildings out too, just in case it spread.
Evacuate, yeah,
evacuate everybody, and then the ferry from a part of Connecticut, I think like New London or something like that, they went on the ferry at like probably full speed, and they all with like fire trucks, and they all like put out the fire.
Wow.
And this was like in the middle of the night, and then a cafe or something, bakery, opened across the street in case the firefighters had to go to the bathroom or needed a snack.
Well, that's an amazing story because, that's the community coming together.
And this was like recently, though.
Yeah, I think I did hear about that. And, like we talked about in previous episodes, how scary it is, fire. But, yeah, definitely, we have a few islands out here in Rhode Island, by the
I've
name
been to Rose Island.
Yes, you have.
Yeah,
in the Newport area.
I went to Save the Bay in Newport, and we went to Rose Island, and we went to, I forget what it was called.
Yeah, and we actually saw
the island.
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool because you were basically on a pirate ship, it looked like. Remember the pirate ship down there? Or was that the ship that was next to you that looked like a pirate? It was actually a...
Oh, yeah, we didn't...
It was actually a school. It's actually a school on a boat and down in...
Yeah, we weren't on the pirate ship, and
That's pretty wild looking.
yeah, me and my friend would pretend we own the pirate ship, and it was something with hazard in the name. It was like the Hazard, the original name of the boat. So we just like kind of named it again, and we named it the Hazard in Progress.
Nice.
And we pretended we had like a bunch of things like water slides and things on the boat, like everything that we could ever imagine.
That was that was down in Fort Adams, which that was amazing seeing that and all the
We
cannons
should do an
and the
episode
walls.
on Fort Adams.
That is, yeah, definitely. Fort Adams was amazing to go see and to learn about his history. And it's interesting, before we wrap up here, that, you know, the reason why Fort Adams isn't as famous as a lot of the other forts around the country is because there was never an actual battle there.
Yeah, that's why it's a state park and not like a...
Yeah, it was so fortified that nobody wanted to, and so many cannons, and the way it was designed by the the engineers, Army Corps of Engineers, I believe. It is just amazing that
Yeah, we
nobody
actually
really
went
knows
on a
much about
tour
it.
there.
Yeah, and you can go underground, and we went in those tunnels. Those underground. Yeah, we'll do an episode on Fort Adams, on the underground tunnels, or maybe a few different forts. But we're coming up on time here, and I just wanted to again thank everybody for listening. All of your comments mean so much to us. Your feedback. You know, we do have a new website, which is www.thats without an apostrophe. So it's that's-cool-podcast.com. And, you know, we are, as we talked about, on social media, on Instagram. And we're also on TikTok, yep. On Instagram, it's That's Cool Podcast.
Without any spaces.
And, it's That's Cool Podcast on Instagram without any spaces. And it's the same on TikTok, which is That's Cool Podcast, no spaces.
And no apostrophes either.
That's true. No apostrophes. So, yeah, come check us out. Leave us a comment. And, again, we're on all the major podcast subscription or directories, all the platforms. So we look forward to our next episode, which we're going to be working on. And it's probably going to be something Halloween themed. So will you?
Definitely.
Yeah. So we're going to see you again very soon. And, again, I'm Matt.
I'm Lily.
And this is...
That's Cool, where we can't stop, won't stop talking about stuff.
Thanks, Lil, and thank you, everybody, again. We will talk to everyone soon. Have a great day.